Welcome to Make It Now with Linda Lang. Have you ever wanted to make these little tiny bags and they pull in their little drawstrings? How about this one? And you can pull, keep your potpourri inside. Well, I found this beautiful organza material at Joann's several years ago and I bought it all. And so this is going to make those little bags. So let's get started. What you're going to need is some organza. It could be any kind. I'm doing this because it's Christmas and I'm going to make these for Christmas bags. And then you need some of this ribbon, just this a 1/4 inch ribbon, a sewing machine, and some scissors. You definitely need a sewing machine because you're going to sew these together. If you want to sew them by hand, you can do that too, but it's easier to use a sewing machine, and I'll show you how that works. I cut a strip of my material. You can make your bags any size, but this is the size I like. 6 inches this way. And so I do a 6 inches this way, and I just cut a nice long strip of it. And so what I do is I fold it over, because this is how big I want my bag to be. I just have this little side like that. You want to leave that. You kind of want to leave that there, and then you don't have to sew it. So that helps. And then I just cut, I'm going to cut that salvage off too. I don't like that there. Okay. Just going to iron it flat. Make sure it's nice and flat. Take the top part and you bring it down, because this is your casing and you want to bring it down 1 inch. Iron it. Make sure that it's straight on both ends. It's 1 inch. I'm eyeballing it to 1 inch. And then what I do is I sew across the bottom. With organza, you don't have to do any trimming on the edges. It doesn't ravel. So you sew one here, and then you sew another stitch. So you make a nice little casing right through the middle. And I'm going to do it in black so that you can see what it looks like. I'll be right back. As you can see, I sewed 2 lines, and I got to the edge of this, and then I went up in the top, and I'm leaving a little bit on the top to make it have this little gathery thing up here, okay? See that? Little gathery. And now all you do is you put the right sides together, which is that side. So I do the right sides together. And you simply sew straight down and across, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is what it looks like. You can actually take pinking shears if you want. Cut this like this. You don't have to because it does not shred, but it just looks kind of nicer with the little pinking along there. Okay. Yep, you sew it all together. Now all you do is turn it. Poke the ends out like that. And you go, oh no, now how do I put the casing in? It's very simple. You need a seam ripper. So what you do, you carefully cut a little hole here and a little hole here, but you don't go all the way to the back one. You just put the hole in the front one on each side. You can use scissors or a seam ripper. And then you go to the other side and do the same thing, but you only need to do one. And you make sure it's just the top. Okay? Now we're ready for this ribbon. So I'm going to use this color ribbon so that you can see how it works. You take 2 pieces. They're each 16 inches long. Okay? And I like to use this kind of narrow, it's, what is it? 1/8 inch. Love it. You take a little safety pin, put it on the end. And this is the fun part. You find that hole that's on the seam, you find the hole that you put on the top, and you just thread it through. And you just keep going all the way around. Ignore the hole that you did here. Ignore this hole. Keep going all the way around. And then you come out the hole you made on this side of the seam, because you can't go past the seam. That's why you had to do 2 holes on each side of the seam. You pull it out, take the safety pin off, take the 2 ends, and just do a little knot. You wrap it around your finger and pull it through. See, there's that. Now you can do that. I don't like it. You need to have the string pull to both sides. Now you take the safety pin again to the second piece of ribbon, and you start on this side, okay? You push that through the top hole, go all the way around. Okay, so it gets a little tricky when you get to the seam. You can't go through the seam. What you have to do is you go through the top hole, you go through that hole, and you go back. Let's get this guy out of the way here. And you go back on top of that other ribbon through the other hole, and you keep going all the way around. And when you get to the end, you come out the same hole you create. You only made 1 hole on that right side, and you pull it out. And you bring it together. Take the safety pin off. Tie a little knot at the end. And there is your bag. Once you're done with the bag, you make sure all your corners are pulled out. You simply press it, make it nice and flat, and pull the strings, and look at that cute bag. We made it in less than 5 minutes. Make it now with Linda Lang. Until next time, have a good day.